Good evening, Diecast fans. I'm Tom Spanners Watson.
And I'm Frank the Guru Gibbs.
And it's time for the DSPN. Now, big news, the Diecast International Race Series is on again next year. We are going to have 7 tracks this time with up to 32 drivers. So keep an eye out for all the details on how you could be a driver in this mammoth 7-month competition.
And then Slayman Customs are offering a discount on all non-special items using the code DSPN10. Now these guys do some cool stuff. They've got a brand new 45-degree Crash Races size corner. They've got start gates, finish gates, timers, all sorts of really cool stuff. Go over and check them out. Full details will be in the description.
Moving on to drag racing, we're going to kick off with Mr. Mom's Racing. Now, as always, these guys do just some epic races, and I love this one between the Mustang and the Humvee. And the Mustang smoked the Humvee, and the Humvee didn't take it so well. And you don't want to annoy a guy who's got a minigun on the roof.
Then moving over to Rust Belt Racing, it was the Friday night food fights, and their Micro Machine track again causing all sorts of carnage and lots of fun. I mean, I don't know how they tell who's winning there. It was ridiculously fast and very, very close, but a lot of cool fun.
And then heading over to Skorpio Love Smith's channel, he was doing a rip and roll drag race, and I love these wide track races. This tuned Lambo just had all sorts of trouble, but a lot of fun to watch.
Then Cleveland City Diecast had their grudge match races, and we really like this track. It's very, very fast, and it's got lots of cameras, so you get all the cool angles. I mean, look how fast that dude was traveling as to how many times he bounced backwards and forwards there. It was brilliant.
Then BlueLine Racing was taking on the Northeast Beast with a range of cars. Now, there is a really tight qualifying time, and would you believe this beast of a truck actually made it through? It was awesome.
Then GNR Vintage Diecast Racing had more cool drag racing, and what I really love about this are those parachutes. I mean, how cool is that? That's not something you see every day. I can't imagine how long it takes them to reset it for every race, but it's very cool.
Then WeRaceDiecast had the King of the 621 competition, and as always, some great racing on this track. And these guys are going to be in the DIRS next year, so they have got a full diorama track coming, so keep an eye out for that one.
Then my Hotwheels Collection did the King of the Escalades, and these boys were motoring. I mean, just absolutely flying down here, and whew, look at that crash at the end. He ploughed into it so hard.
And Wallside Diecast. Now, we love this track. As you know, we love chaos at the Canyon, and this was actually completely without chaos. Look how well those 2 cars handled the death drop, and then look how close they are at the finish. It was absolutely brilliant. One of the best races I've seen on that track yet.
Moving over to tournaments, we're going to kick off with Jackson Pass and the Cavalcade of Calamity. Now, this has been a monster series, and it was their first mail-in tournament, and there was some really cool racing through here, and I just love their new track. So this will also be featured in the DIRS 2021 season again. And you may have missed it, but that's Mike Mays there, just at the back. He's over on his roof, you can see there, and then somehow he manages to flip himself back onto his wheels. It was incredible.
That was awesome. Transport Diecast had his Miatas at the Crest competition, and this car absolutely smoked the competition. It was so good to watch. This is another track that's going to be part of the DIRS next year, so keep an eye out for this track. The competition will be starting on his track next year.
As always with Diecast RacerX, there is an absolute ton of races going on, like daily races multiple times a day. This time it was on the La Ventura Classic track. A lot of fun to watch, and if you're looking for diecast racing, check out Diecast RacerX.
Then Sub 4 RA had a monster big competition. This video is like 3/4 of an hour long, but we love this particular race. Look at that Superbird that just get flipped up and then get flipped off the track, but gets back onto his wheels somehow. It was awesome. I have no idea how he managed it, but damn, that was cool.
Now, Checkered Flag Contention continued on with their Indy races. I particularly love this one. They come down, you get two guys out in front, and then just at the last minute he gets spun out. He's completely flipped around and beaten at the post. It was awesome.
Now, Indiana Diecast Racing are doing something a bit different this time around. So this is a slightly different track setup to what we've usually seen. Different video style to what we've seen before as well. But still a lot of fun. And still a fair amount of carnage considering it's just a switchback track. It doesn't have that big crossover triangle like the other track he had.
Nines Diecast are running their 9-pack tournament. So running 3 cars at a time. And again, we love this one. That Challenger gets spun around and then just coming down this final straight, pipped right at the post. Look at that. That's just so close. It's brilliant.
Alleycat Race Club had their Garden Canyon run. So a big long straight to start with, then an S-curve into the final straight, being observed by the local cat. I don't know if he influences the races at all, but you know, it's great to see people getting the whole family involved. And it is called Alleycat.
Diecast Racing Reports track had the Pinks for the Cure. So this was a charity event and this was a brilliantly close race. These guys battled all the way down and was only just pipped at the post there. A little bit longer track and he would have had it. But keep an eye out on their channel for more racing.
Meal Ticket Raceway have relaunched their new track. We mentioned this last week and this thing is huge and so much fun to watch. Like, the lead changes position a number of times as they take an inside corner or an outside corner, but technically they are travelling all the same distance, so there is no lane advantage. It's just in the particular corner it changes. It's very cool. Love that monster track.
Now moving into street racing, it was the Canyon Outlaws round 3. So this was a huge one for us. Just launched yesterday. But this race here with the Porsche Challenger and one of the grudge races, and that's a smoke wagon from Gina at RTR Diecast Racing League, pulls out a stunning victory right at the end of the track. It was just brilliant.
And King of the Mountain came to the final event, and there was some great overtakes in this as well. Here's one with T. Lamont in one of the heats. Just brilliant racing. If you haven't seen it, go and check it out. The final is absolutely worth it.
Then Hot Car Track continued on with his Road Warriors tournament. As you know, we're a big fan of the 8 crate here at the Canyon, and for some reason that Murder 8 is just having all sorts of trouble on his track, but Po Boy was having none of that blocking manoeuvre and just plowed straight through him.
Then Flat Rabbit put on another brilliant event, a Get Up Stay Up tournament. Not only do we love the layout of this track, it's their whole vibe, the way they do their videos. There's a brilliant story that goes with it, and the cinematography and everything of it is brilliant, and the racing action is fantastic.
DRC continued on with the yard race. Now he is into the semi-finals, and this was just brilliant. Serrano Buckminster here blazing ahead with a brilliant overtake, but check this out. Just like pauses on the jump. I've never seen a truck do that before. It just like rolls up, seesaws over, and just makes it to the finish ahead of the competition.
And War on I-4 had his grudge racing as well. And in this particular race, the Drift Challenger versus the rally car just gets way too loose going into that second corner. Just seemed to be carrying too much speed, couldn't handle it, rolled over.
And finally, Friday night cheese races over at Chapman Films. Some very tight racing here between these two. You see this grey truck technically on the outside there manages to take a good lead and get back in front, and even with some nasty contact there, still manages to cross the line first.
Special events. We also had the Looney Moonies 4, and this was the movie car special. So this particular race was the Venomized version of the Marvel cars. But we had Batmobiles and 2 lots of Fast and Furious cars. If you haven't seen that competition, it's a lot of fun. Go and check it out. It's on our channel. But the Mustang there just pulling out a brilliant overtake right at the end. And it just seems to be the theme of the night with these last minute overtakes.
Now, RTR Diecast Racing League had a Saturday night grudge fest, and this was between the 2 Jeeps. And there was some very cool racing here, and he's got this little jump at the end of the track that he has, and it's just a complete failure there by the white Jeep.
Then Live Young Diecast must be something in the water at the moment, because they also did a Batmobile race. So this was the race to the Batcave. Adam West in a classic there, way out in front, loses control and blows the race completely. And not only that, later in another race, he comes around here and he just somehow flips himself over going over the jump. Everybody else takes it completely straight, and he just for some reason flips completely on his back. It was hilarious.
Now, Big Poppy is up to event number 7, the slalom, and this thing is an absolute monster. This is a downhill slalom, and this is how it's meant to be run. So it looks pretty easy, right? You know, the car goes down, you're not battling anybody, it's not open track, so you've got a good line. But it's actually a lot harder than it looked, and a lot of cars didn't make it, a lot like this. So they just come around and they stalled out all the time. So huge competition, go and have a look at that.
Then Beaverworks and our favourite, the Stone Road. We loved this Mustang run here. Like, it was a custom and it looks so cool. Just rolls over at the end there. And then the second run was sketchy as anything, up on 2 wheels bouncing around. Absolutely fantastic. Totally love the Stone Road. Great idea, guys.
And then we finish off with Hotwheels Boys, did this jump special. I mean, here they got 9 cars going through these absolutely brutal short jumps. So they just did a bunch of these jumps. It's a great little video. Head over and check that one out. And congratulations to Hotwheels Boys. They just hit 1,000 subscribers. Awesome effort, guys. Well done. Keep it up. Hopefully you get a few more from this as well.
Now, TrackSpy, we mentioned these guys before, so this is Monster Motorsports, and this is the first test run of their full track, the Pacific Rim Raceway. You can see it's lane to fat track, and these guys are also going to be the 7th track in the DIRS, so keep an eye out for that. It'll be fully completed next year.
Now, stunt of the week, back to RTR. Check this out. This is a full Ace Ventura, like a glove. Absolutely brilliant. I don't know how he managed to get himself back on his wheels, but look at this. Comes up, goes over, lands on his wheels, bounces up, rolls across the back of the cab, and then lands back on his wheels cleanly while the red Jeep just crashes and burns.
That was awesome. All right, thanks very much for watching. As always, head over to redlinederby.com. Make sure all your races are there, your track details, your channel, all that sort of thing. Keep an eye out for the DIRS coming up. There will be a lot of information about how we're recruiting drivers. There are 32 driving positions available in total. And also the Canyon Outlaws. If you want to be a driver there, head over to chaoscanyon.online for all the details. Thanks very much for watching. I'm Tom Spanners Watson. He's Frank the Guru Gibbs. We'll see you next time.